One moment your home is completely peaceful. Your cat is curled up on the couch, breathing slowly, looking like the most relaxed creature on earth. And then suddenly, without warning, everything changes. Your cat explodes into motion. They sprint down the hallway, launch onto furniture, skid across the floor, bounce off the walls, and race back the other way like a tiny rocket with fur. To us, it looks like absolute chaos. Many owners laugh and say, "My cat has the zoomies again." But what if those wild bursts of speed aren't random at all? What if your cat isn't just being silly, but actually responding to something deep inside their mind and body? The truth is far more fascinating than most people realize. Those sudden sprints, what we call zoomies, are actually your cat expressing instincts that are thousands of years old. And sometimes, those moments of chaos are connected to you in ways you may have never imagined. Most cat lovers call these bursts of energy zoomies. It's a fun, playful word that perfectly captures the madness of the moment, but scientists have a much more serious name for it. In animal behavior studies, these bursts are called Frenetic Random Activity Periods, often shortened to FRAPs. The name sounds complicated, but the behavior is simple to recognize. It's when a calm cat suddenly turns into a blur of motion, running, jumping, twisting, and sometimes attacking imaginary targets. Veterinary behaviorists describe these moments as sudden releases of built-up energy. In other words, your cat has been holding something inside, and the zoomies are the moment when that energy finally escapes. But to truly understand why zoomies happen, we need to travel far back into history, long before cats slept on our beds or stared at us for breakfast every morning. Millions of years ago, the ancestors of our modern cats lived in harsh, wild environments. One of the closest ancestors of today's house cat is the African wildcat, a small but incredibly skilled predator that roamed the savanna. Life in the wild required precision, patience, and explosive power. A wild cat might spend long periods hiding quietly, observing the environment, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. But when that moment arrived, everything happened in seconds. The hunt would begin with silent stalking, followed by a lightning-fast chase, a powerful leap, and finally the capture of prey. This sequence, stalk, chase, pounce, capture, is deeply wired into every cat's brain. Even though your cat lives in a safe home with food provided every day, those instincts are still there. Domestication changed many things about cats, but it did not erase their predator instincts. Your cat may look soft and cuddly, but inside their mind, they still carry the behavioral blueprint of a hunter. And this is where zoomies start to make sense. When a cat lives indoors, many of their natural hunting behaviors don't get fully expressed. They don't need to stalk prey to survive, and they don't need to chase animals across fields to eat. But the instinct to do those things still builds inside them. Over time, that unused energy builds like pressure inside a bottle. Eventually, something small triggers the release. Suddenly, your cat bolts across the room, as if chasing something only they can see. The zoomies are essentially your cat, acting out the ancient chase instinct that has been building inside them all day. If you watch closely during one of these zoomie episodes, you might notice something interesting. Your cat often ends the run with a dramatic pounce. They might leap onto a toy, attack a pillow, tackle a slipper, or even ambush the corner of a wall. It might look ridiculous to us, but to your cat, they are completing the hunting sequence. Their brain expected a chase, followed by a capture, and so they improvise with whatever object happens to be nearby. Another strange detail about zoomies is the timing. Many cat owners notice that these bursts of energy seem to happen late at night, sometimes right when the house becomes quiet and everyone is trying to sleep. It can feel almost intentional, as if your cat has chosen the most inconvenient time possible to begin their midnight marathon. But the explanation once again goes back to your cat's ancient biology. Cats are crepuscular animals, which means their natural activity peaks happen at dawn and dusk. These times were perfect for hunting in the wild because many small animals are most active during those hours. Over thousands of years, cats evolved to be most alert and energetic when the sun rises and when it sets. Even though your cat now lives in a home instead of the wild, their body clock still follows those ancient rhythms. So when the house becomes quiet at night or early morning, your cat's brain may suddenly shift into hunting mode. The result is a dramatic burst of zoomies that sends them racing through the house. But zoomies aren't only about ancient hunting instincts. In many cases, they also have something to do with you. Many cat owners notice a strange pattern. After racing around the house like a tiny tornado, their cat suddenly stops right next to them. Maybe the cat finishes the sprint by jumping onto the couch where you're sitting. Maybe they collapse at the foot of your bed. Maybe they run into your room and flop down beside you like nothing just happened. This behavior is surprisingly meaningful. Despite the stereotype that cats are distant or indifferent, research shows that cats actually form strong emotional attachments to their owners. In fact, studies have shown that many cats bond with their humans in ways that are similar to how children bond with parents. When a zoomie session ends near you, it may be because your cat sees you as the safest place in their world. After releasing all that pent-up energy, they instinctively return to the spot where they feel secure. In a way, it's similar to how a person might go for an intense run outside and then come home to relax. Your cat's chaotic sprint ends where their comfort zone begins, and very often, that place is right next to you. Playing with your cat before bed is great for their health and happiness, but it can also wind up their energy levels. If the play session ends before your cat fully releases that excitement, the leftover energy may explode later in the form of zoomies. It's like winding up a spring and then letting it go hours later. A room full of furniture, boxes, and narrow pathways can feel like an adventure course designed specifically for them. When your home provides those climbing and running opportunities, your cat may feel inspired to sprint through it, like a tiny athlete performing parkour. Your own energy can also influence your cat more than you realize. Cats are extremely observant creatures. They watch how we move, how we speak, and how we behave throughout the day. If the household suddenly becomes energetic, people moving quickly, voices getting louder, or activity increasing, your cat may mirror that energy. Sometimes the zoomies are simply your cat, matching the emotional rhythm of the home. However, while zoomies are usually harmless and even healthy, there are moments when they can signal something deeper. Cats are masters at hiding discomfort. In the wild, showing weakness could attract predators, so cats evolved to mask pain whenever possible. Because of this, sudden bursts of running can sometimes be connected to stress, irritation, or physical discomfort. For example, if a cat suddenly sprints away and then begins obsessively licking one area of their body, it could be a sign of skin irritation or allergies. If zoomies frequently happen immediately after using the litter box, it may signal discomfort related to the urinary tract. Some cats may also show zoomie-like behavior when they are anxious or overstimulated. Older cats can display similar bursts of activity as well, but the reason may be different. In some cases, senior cats experience confusion or restlessness as they age. When zoomies appear suddenly in an older cat that previously didn't show them, it's worth paying closer attention to other changes in behavior. For most cats, though, zoomies are simply a joyful expression of their natural instincts. They are a reminder that even the most relaxed house cat still carries the spirit of a wild hunter inside them. So the next time your peaceful evening is interrupted by the sound of paws racing down the hallway, remember that you're witnessing something extraordinary. Those bursts of speed are not just random chaos. They are the echo of ancient instincts, the release of stored energy, and sometimes even a sign that your cat feels safe enough to let their wild side show. And when your tiny predator finally finishes their dramatic race and settles down beside you, breathing quickly but peacefully, you'll realize something important. Your cat didn't just run through the house, they ran through thousands of years of history before choosing to rest right next to you.